All right, so this war we have S99 Void and Titania bans. So the first time getting a real sugar pill focus on bans here. All right, so Gore Boss, you've got Wiccan, you've got Rintraw, you've got Tigra, Hulkling, same three for that. Korg, Omega Red, or Apocalypse with a PS1. Mephisto, I would probably go with Quicksilver, Blade, or Cassie. And then for Longshot, same thing, Quicksilver or Cassie. Shared Islands, JJ, Silk and Quicksilver actually works since they have a slow built-in plus the tactic, but you can also use Valkyrie. Quicksilver, Crossbones, Viv, someone missing, probably going to be your best bet, so you don't have to block all that. Fury, Mole Man, Adam, Doom, Hood, Claire, Zemo, Hulkling, since he is shock immune, could also go with Viv as well. No, she's not shock immune. Could also probably go with Magneto and maxing Pacify. Domino, Omega Sentinel, and Nimrod, Infamous Doom, Thing, or Hulkling. Iron Man, Doom, or sorry, not Doom. Gallon or Hulkling, Chavez, Quicksilver, or Silk, and then in Infinity War, Iron Man, any of your buff immune. So CW, Gallon, and Omega Sentinel. To correct that Infinity War Iron Man matchup, I meant buffet immune, so nullify immune, not buffet or not buff immune. Path 1, whatever you take with Absorbing Man like Silk or Quicksilver can also take Section 1, Nimrod and Maw, and then you can bring your mutant for Elsa. If she goes unblockable, it's not a big deal, so Apocalypse, Omega Red. Path 2, Dragon Man, you're going to want to go with Quicksilver or Silk. Can use either of those two for Cosmic Ghost Rider, can use Silk for Spot, can bring that skill option as well, like Crossbones, Mole Man, or Fury, and use that for Spot and Mr. Fantastic. And then Path 3, Gallon or Hulkling for Omega Sentinel, can use Gallon or Hulkling for Cersei and S99 if you'd like, and then bring Cosmic Ghost Rider or Claire for G99, and then you can use Claire for Cersei as well if you don't want to flex either of those two cosmics on her. Path 4, I would probably use Mole Man, Fury, or Shang-Chi for Void, and then use Silk or Quicksilver for Claire, and then use Hulkling or CGR for future Antman, and then for Terrax, use any of those options. So Shang-Chi, Mole Man, Hulkling, CGR could be used for Terrax. Path 5, Sasquatch, Quicksilver, or Silk. Havoc, you go Omega Sentinel or Viv. Nova, Doom, or Absorbing Man, and then Quicksilver or Silk for Spidey Supreme. And then Path 6, would use a poison immune like Hulkling or, any other one for those two. And then into Section 2, Venom, you can go with Doom, you can go with Absorbing Man, you could go with a poison immune like Dragon Man, and then your Omega Sentinel or Cap Sam for Kitty. And then Path 7, you could go with Valkyrie or Shang-Chi for Thing, or you can go with Omega Red and use Omega Red for Jabari and Fury, or you can go Apocalypse and just take the whole thing with Apocalypse. 8 and 9, you can see I was a little late to getting the screenshot, so for what's there on 8, Silk or Quicksilver for Mysterio. You can actually use either of those two for Annihilus as well. And then for Surfer, I would probably just go in with Rintraw, Tigra, or Wiccan. And then path 9, those two in section 2 can both be taken with Valkyrie, can both be taken with Quicksilver or Silk. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 7, I take path 4 in section 1, or in both sections, and then 2 shared minis, shared fights, and then 1 mini boss. So I bring in Ronin, Hulkling, and Silk, and it gets kind of sketchy because I forced Ronin into weird situations. The first one is this Void here. Although Ronin can shrug debuffs, he definitely cannot shrug them fast enough to avoid this degen damage from Void. So it's pretty much a constant race. But we do a good job here building our cruelty passives. We miss a block there. That kind of hurt us. Getting to 7 cruelty passives here so that we can start critting like crazy. We have the Fury as well, so our damage is up. And we decide to go into the special 2. Does a great deal of damage, and he ticks away from the bleeds. So actually would have ended with more health had it not been for that combo. This next fight was the reason I brought in Ronin. I wanted someone who could shrug debuffs, who was Decay, and could take Claire. So the plan here was actually to do parry and a couple combos backing off until I got enough debuffs on Claire so that I can heavy her here and get the slow up, and now we don't have to worry about unstoppable, at least until the next knockdown. So now we're back to building charges. There we go. She's bleed immune. We very easily got to 7 crit passives. There's the knockdown for the slow because I knew the other one was expiring. We get the special 2 out quickly. Good. We just start critting her to like crazy here, and down she goes. So between the Fury and his crit rate and his crit damage, it's a pretty fast fight. Now, section 2 was easier. Just like in section 1, there was 1 sketchy fight and 1 fight that was planned. So this future Antman was the reason Hulkling was coming. So Hulkling just counters future Antman pretty well. However, we are going to be in certain situations where we have 3 debuffs on us and it's unavoidable. So we just have to make sure that we've got the dexes down for Fanta's, special 1. So we got the Pierce up, waited for that armor up to fall. It's gone, so now he's not going to have any more armor ups as long as we hold on to a Pierce buff for the rest of the fight. We're baiting out special 1s. We don't go unblockable until that blocked hit. So we just can't play with our block and stun here. We're just going to utilize Hulkling's unblockable, and there we set it up to drop a big special 2. Can't really block bait a heavy to work in another combo while unblockable. So we back off and play passive. And it's right back to building that that unblockable for easy openings. And we're taking away chunks of health here. We don't really want to push him to special 2. That one's a lot harder to dex, especially if you happen to eat the first hit in just trying to bait it. And here, we're almost in a good spot right here to go unblockable into a special 2 and finish the fight. Now, the next fight is, unfortunately, with Ronin. I didn't really want to take this with Ronin, especially since I was low on health. Decided to go ahead and just drop a potion. But yeah, I mean, game plan here was to wait out the field, shrug any debuffs I've got, build the cruelty passives, which will be fast since he is a bleed immune. And you can see here, I was just kind of trying to wait for the rock field to end. It's a low sig Terrax. And now that it's gone, I felt that I was in a pretty good spot. However, in trying to just bait out a special attack from him, he just went super passive and would not throw it. And I was unfortunately in a position where I was unblockable and pushed him to special 2. So he's just not wanting to throw it. trying to push him back by hitting into his block, and we've got an aggressive AI that just will not do it. Still not doing it. This is probably the most annoying part. Finally throws it, but I am full on cornered. So here I just decide to start playing intercepts after this heavy. So we are just going to take advantage of the fact that he is aggressive, get back to the 7 cruelty passives, throw this special 3 for space. It's going to give us a massive fury because we hit the max stack for cruelties. We're going to wait out this aura, even though he is unblockable. Now that we've waited it out, we're going to start getting rid of debuffs. It's going to open up our unblockable. And we're just going to try and avoid getting smacked pretty much. But between the fury and the cruelties that we're building, he goes down from the big hits. So we survived. Ronan made it. First shared fight is this Chavez Ebb and Flow knockdown. Whew. Aggressive prowess. Silk can handle it the same way I handled Rintraw here, except we can do full combos into our heavies. What I decided was I was going to treat this the same way that I kind of treat Quicksilver. And that is that once that, or sorry, no, different. The plan was to knock down, and then once the debuff immunity disappeared, we were going to go into a full combo and then finish with a special attack. Watching this replay, what probably should have happened was that I did the full combo into the special attack before knocking down. So this would be a good idea. I build debuffs, but those debuffs get shrugged when the protection comes back. So it's not a good call. Should have definitely gone with doing this here. So we start taking off good chunks, and that's where I say it's like Quicksilver. Quicksilver, I usually build all the whiplashes I need, do the detonate into the special 2 before knocking the defender down, and then afterwards wait for that protection to come back. And sure, we do 60% less damage, but it still works, especially against Chavez, who can be a pain. Luckily, since she is tactic, and when we hit her, we give her a wither, we don't have to worry about dimensions. But you can see here, I'm getting another stubborn AI that I have to push to special 2 because she just won't have it. And this time I finally don't retaliate. Try to get the special 2 here. The protection comes back. Almost done. Unfortunately, we have to block that. Takes off a huge chunk, but she KOs from recoil. So, next shared fight was actually Jessica Jones here. I was not sure about how this was going to work, but I figured with Silk's natural slow that we were going to be able to prevent the unstoppable here with Jessica. So I assumed it was a safe fight. And you see they were already taking chunks off. She has recoils, so she's losing health there from that. And honestly, it ends up being a pretty good fight. We're getting the slow from the tactic and the slow from her Sig ability. So we're doubled up on slow. And we don't gain any buffs, so we don't have to worry about Burden of Might here. The only thing about this that's making it slow are those weakness debuffs that I get when I throw a special attack against Jessica. So trying to get a special attack here. Got another stubborn AI. Not wanting to throw their special 2. Just waiting for me to make a mistake so that they can combo to special 3. That'll be part of my AI video, because it happens a lot in Arena and AQ. Down goes JJ. And then our last fight is with Silk again. She's going to take Longshot here. I mean, Ronan is tactic, but Silk doesn't gain her dexterity buff, and that is a huge benefit, because then you're not actually relying on the slow. from the tactic in this scenario. Whereas Ronin could trigger a dex buff, and then when that buff expires, if I don't have the slow active, I'm dealing with an unstoppable opponent. So more recoils here, but this is a pretty easy one. I'm actually surprised at how often Longshot's going to have to throw a special one on power reserve. And we get another, this is like this whole war. We get another stubborn AI that just will not throw this special one. And since he's got recoils and it's ticking him away, we get some oops blocks there that just lead straight to heavies. Here comes another, almost like it's planned. I just decide, F it, we're going to push him and do the special one, and it KOs him. So that was War 7. Hope you guys enjoyed the Ronin play. Go ahead and hit subscribe and give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.